Hey there, my name's Julian, and if you don't already know, I am a Canadian who moved to Serbia in 2019 along with the rest of my family. So, anyways, what we wanted to do was take a road trip down to Subotica. It's a place that, we've been wanting to go for quite a while. If you're not aware, Subotica is a city in the northern section of the northern province in Serbia, and it is right on the border with Hungary. So, because of that, and because of a whole bunch of history, it is very heavily, I believe, about 30 something percent inhabited by Hungarians, which is something that's super interesting to me. Along with Subotica, another place that I am really excited to go is Novi Pazar, because down there, again, yes, it's still Serbia, but you have a kind of completely different culture going on, which I find super interesting because, where I'm at in Serbia, it's pretty much all Serbs. And if you watch my video, as you're well aware, I love Serbs. They're great. They're my favorite people. But sometimes it gets a bit boring. You want to go try some different food, see some different cultures, interact with people who you're not already used to. So anyways, obviously Subotica is one place that has been on our hit list for quite a while. And on the way there, you need to drive through Fruška Gora, which is a very hilly and zigzaggy drive, but it's pretty fun. The first part, basically, there's two-way traffic, which sucks because if there's one tractor or truck in front of you, good luck. You're never getting out of there. But as soon as it opens up at the top of Irski Venac, it is pretty fun, actually. So anyways, on the topic of Subotica, it is a city with three main ethnic groups and quite a few more. I believe one woman told us there are 24 total groups there. And it is primarily Serbs by a small margin, and then it's Hungarians, and then it is Bunjevci, which they're actually an interesting one. I didn't really know too much about them at all until fairly recently when I was doing some research, and as far as I'm aware, their language is very similar to Croatian, and they are Catholic and whatnot. So they're very similar to Croatians, but not quite. So anyways, we made it to Subotica, and first thing I see, we are going to Buvljak, which was actually recommended by someone in the comments. I listened to the comments. Please recommend to me anywhere cool in Serbia that I can go to. If it actually looks cool, I'm going to go. So here we are at Buvljak, which is a pijaca, and I've heard about this from quite a few people, but, you got to see it with your own eyes. Basically, it's just a really, really big pijaca, and I was not disappointed at all. We went on a Friday, so it's not the busiest day for a pijaca. A lot of the stalls, stations, shops, whatever you want to call them, were actually closed, unfortunately, but despite that, the amount of stuff that was actually open, the amount of stuff that they were selling is insane. At least for me, this is the best pijaca I have ever been to in Serbia. They have so much stuff, and not only that, but they have a lot of unique stuff that they get from Hungary, which is quite nice because I find it going to a pijaca in Serbia more or less, what do you got? Besides fruits and vegetables, you have socks, some home care items like the stuff we're looking at right now, and that's it. Whereas I found this place here had actually a really, really wide variety of different stuff. Now, we took the car here, so unfortunately we're not able to, shop to our heart's desire and buy absolutely everything. This here is something I found absolutely hilarious. Our friend Mladen, he, for a sign for his working hours, put up a picture of him with a drink at the beach. Absolutely beautiful. A screenshot from his phone, too. Not even he properly got the picture taken. He just took a screenshot of a picture on his phone, didn't even crop it, got it printed, and then wrote his working hours on it. So, Mladen, you are a legend. So, I actually, every now and again, go to Hungary to do some grocery shopping because a lot of things they have much better deals on, and also they just have some cool stuff that I like to try. But I was curious to see what the difference in prices here versus actually going to Hungary were like. And to my surprise, they were pretty much exactly the same. I guess they kind of just work on the difference with VAT. And as you can see here, you can get anything. We're looking at car parts, electronics, clothes, you name it. This place has got it. Honestly, I really, really loved this piazza, and I'm super excited to go back. So now we're actually in Subotica. I mean, we were before, but now we're in the center of it. And first things first, I'm not sure what kind of church that was. There's a lot of Hungarian writing on it, but I don't know. It kind of looked like an Orthodox church, so I don't know. Somebody let me know if you know. And here is the Gradska Kucha, the city house, I guess you'd call it, in Subotica. And it is unique, man. Like, that is not an architectural style that I'm very used to seeing in Serbia. I'm not, very much of an expert on architecture, but, whatever style that is, it's pretty cool. It's not something that you see very often. I think it looks a lot more like something that you would see in either Hungary or maybe even Romania. And my first impressions once I got into the center of Subotica is, it's a city in Serbia with some cool architecture, and that's about it. Nothing, ridiculous, but at the same time, it's pretty nice. It, to me, feels like a mixture between Vrnjačka Banja and a Hungarian city like Szeged, which is interesting. I'm curious to see if you agree, if you've been to all of those places. But the center of the city is quite nice. Like I said, you can very clearly see that there are a lot of different cultures still living there and a lot of different cultural influences. Like, something I noticed is there's a ton of Austrian/German influence here in the architecture, in the names of some of the restaurants and cafes. There's a lot of Austrian influence, and a lot of Austrians/Germans, I don't know, lived here and kind of just throughout northern Serbia for a while because it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. But let's just simplify things and say after World War II, not very many of them actually remained in Serbia, and today I don't think you have any considerable number of Germans in the country. Actually, now it's quite the opposite. You have a lot of Serbs in Germany instead of a lot of Germans in Serbia. And let that be a reminder that times change. There was a time in history, I guess, where Serbia was a much, much, much better country to live in than Germany. Then there was a time where Germany was a lot better to live in than Serbia. And maybe, if you ask me, it's already happened, but depending on your opinions, we've gone full circle. And now again, Serbia, in my opinion, is a better place to live than Germany. That being said, I haven't lived in Germany, so, I could just be totally talking out of my ass here. So here we've got a little concert happening in the city. It's like for folk music. You guys could probably tell me a whole lot more about what exactly is going on here than me. But I love this. This is something that I think is pretty common in cities in Serbia, is just having some little concerts and gatherings and whatnot right in the center of the city. I actually saw Aca Lukas in the center of Ruma on New Year's, which was pretty crazy. I was surprised of all of the cities, dude was in Ruma, but, my gain. So now, anyways, just wanted to continue walking through Subotica. Saw whatever this is, cool building, interesting signs. And something I noticed about Subotica, which is really weird, when it comes to shopping and just buying stuff, I actually had a better time in Subotica than I have in any city in Serbia, including Belgrade. I don't know what it is, but I was finding good deals left, right, and center on some pretty awesome stuff, whereas I find going shopping in Belgrade, the selection is good, but it's just kind of looking at stuff and going, why would I buy a $55 Nike t-shirt? Knowing that in Canada it would cost let's say $40. That's kind of just how I feel shopping in Belgrade, is just everything is overpriced. And here we saw, speaking of shopping in Belgrade, Subotica's Galeria. And here we have a very, very beautiful building. It is the synagogue in Subotica, and actually there are quite a few synagogues throughout Serbia, in Subotica, and Niš, and Belgrade, and Novi Sad, but today there's only about 800 or less Jews that actually live in the country. Unfortunately, a lot of things happened throughout history that led to them leaving, I guess. Not sure I need to get too deep into that one, but, Yeah, so when it comes to shopping, Serbia is possibly one of the worst countries that I have been to. When it comes to buying, I guess, let's say international goods, the prices aren't good. The selection is not great. It's really, honestly, when I want to go shopping, I'm going to go to a country like Italy. In Serbia, more or less, you're just going to kind of get whatever it is that you need. And and, whatever you want, but don't go too crazy. That being said, I'm talking about more international goods, like just to name a few things. Like if you want a pair of Adidas shoes, if you want a LG TV, stuff like that. You can get some really, really cool stuff in Serbia, especially a lot of artisan things. And you do have all of those international brands. It's just usually not the greatest price. So like I was saying, yeah, Subotica in the shopping front actually really, really pleasantly surprised me. All we were really doing when we came here, like I said, we just wanted to see the city. Along with that, we wanted to do some shopping, and I just wanted to film some stuff for you guys. So hopefully you're enjoying the walkthrough of the city. Interested to hear your thoughts on my thoughts on Subotica, or your thoughts on Subotica. If you've never been there, and this is, I guess, the first time you're kind of seeing it is through this video, what do you think of it overall? And another thing, when it comes to Serbia, I believe the saying goes, što južnije, to tužnije, and that overall is pretty true. Up here in the very, very far north of Serbia, it feels very much so just like anywhere in Central Europe, like in any EU country. Truly, I don't notice any difference between being here and in a city like Temișvar or a city like Segedin or anywhere like that. It feels more or less the same. Obviously, every city has its own kind of unique stuff about it, but as for, let's say, how well the people are doing, how rich/poor the place looks, the kind of cars you see people driving, it just feels like anywhere in the European Union for the most part, except for casinos. And that's actually something I'd love to talk about right now is kladionicas. Why are they such a big thing here? I mean, look, I've been to them, just like I think anyone in this country, and they suck. Like, straight up, you go in there with 10 bucks, 1,000 dinars, whatever it is that you go in there with, you're going to lose it. It can be a fun time to just go and hang out and, spend like 1,500 dinars to just waste some time. But people who go in there every day, and I know there's a lot of them because every second building in Serbia is a kladionica. I just personally do not understand it. Another thing that Subotica has, which is one of the reasons I said it reminds me of Vrnjačka Banja, is actually two things. One is the city center has a lot of greenery, trees, plant coverage, which I absolutely love, compared to, let's say, somewhere like Novi Sad, which has a beautiful center, but when it's a 35-degree day, like it is every day in Serbia now for some reason, this shade is really nice. And also these little shops that you see on the right, these little huts, these stalls, whatever you want to call them, are awesome. I found this one guy who actually sells a whole bunch of leather goods, and I ended up getting quite a few things from him, which was great. All the stuff is good quality. All the stuff is good prices. And like I said, for shopping, honestly, Subotica is surprisingly good, especially considering it's not a very big city at all. Next thing we did is we went out to dinner, and we went to this restaurant called Bash House, which, again, like I was saying, Austrian/German influence, and this place rocked. I saw them on Google. They have over 3,000 reviews and a clean 5-star rating, which is ridiculous, and I completely see why. I mean, take a look, first of all, at the food we're eating. Second of all, at the drinks. This right here is veal ribs, and just, it was so good. My wife got taquitos, and those fries were probably the best fries I've ever had. And my son got some mac and cheese, which is rare in Serbia. And this place just rocked. Not only was the food amazing, but the portions were perfect. Not too big, definitely not too small. And that's for a large guy like myself. Service was amazing, and the total bill came to 3,900 dinars, which for a dinner like that is absolutely a steal of a deal. So if you're in Subotica, go to Bash House. You will not regret it. So now it's getting later, and this concert in the city center is still going on, and it is just getting more crowded and louder. So I love the vibe of this city at night, along with most cities in Serbia, but Subotica is definitely something special. I would totally recommend going. And as you can see here, even in the Maxi, in the main grocery stores, they have Hungarian writing in it, which, like I said, I find that super, super cool. So anyways, it's the next day now, and it's time to go. I forgot how to drive, and I ended up in this little construction site. Looks like they're building a train station, and it's all Chinese people working here. If anyone has any information on that, let me know. But, seems like another case of the government just possibly selling the country to foreigners. So anyways, this guy's trying to help me get out of my quad that I got myself into. So time to head out. And all around this city, you just have these beautiful buildings in this architecture style that you never ever see really anywhere else in Serbia. So I loved it. Subotica, this is a place that we only went to for about 30 hours total today, or when we went. And it's somewhere that I would really love to go back to and spend some more time. Luckily, it's not very far from me, and that's the great thing about where I live, is that it's really close to everything. Not only different cities in Serbia, but also to go to another country, to go to Bosnia, to go to Croatia, to go to Romania, to go to Greece, to go to North Macedonia. It is all really, really close, which is one really huge plus for me of living where I live. That being said, most of Serbia is pretty similar because, it's a small country. If you are in the biggest Vojvodina, you can't be that far away from anything. Along with that, the highways in Serbia, the toll roads, that is, are amazing. They are super good quality, especially when you compare them to some of the surrounding countries. And overall, it's just pretty easy to get around and go on any sort of vacation. So anyways, I am on my way back home now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed Subotica. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on both the city of Subotica and whatever it is that I was doing there. And let me know, please, in the comments, any other cool places in Serbia to go, especially if there's any festivals, events, or anything like that. I would definitely love to check them out, and I'll make some videos for you guys on how my time goes there. So have a great day, and talk to you soon.